I'd be willing to bet that 2024 will probably go down as one of the better years of the 2020s. I mean, of the 4 years that we've had to start this particular decade. It's decade, right? Not century. Yes, decade. Easily the best. 2020 ravaged by COVID. 2021, we were kind of coming out of it, and there was like a certain energy to it, at least in certain parts, but at least in League, kind of felt like things were still a little bit iffy. 2022 was the call, and things kind of feeling like they were like fully back to normal, but like there's a difference between like going back to like how things were and like progressing forward. And 2023 was definitely not that. We didn't even get the cinematic that year. This year, though, yeah, it's been pretty good. Even in pop music and everything. It's just, I feel like 2024 was just amazing. So without further ado, the top 5 moments from 2024 in League of Legends. Now, this will expand to esports, to general League, and well beyond. This list is very like personal to me. I know it's not going to be everybody's. It seemed like the bad list, there was a unanimous consensus of like, yeah, this makes sense. I can't guarantee that that'll be the same result here, but the one thing I do take pride in is the fact that my best list typically has more viewership than my worst list. So do me a favor, drop a like, comment down below. What was your favorite moment from this year? Well, technically last year. This video's out on January 1st. Sorry. Starting with an honorable mention and one that I feel like has to be said, even though it's not my cup of tea, and that was the return of PvE game modes to League of Legends. I forget what this one was even called this year. I really didn't play it all that much. It's not really my forte, but it seemed like the fun of League made its comeback this year. You had an ARAM map skin for Arcane, which granted, I don't know if we would have gotten some without Arcane, but that's separate. And no, Arcane's not going to be on this list. I just feel like that is just like a slam dunk out of the park type thing. That is just a whole other level. Like, you're grading Arcane against like general media, not for like just League of Legends. Like, having it on this list feels kind of disingenuous to like the actual moments of League that we get like year in and year out, and the things that like make it special relative to others, with League only being a once in every like 3-year thing. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to put it on this list. Plus, I do think the ending not soiled it and soured it for me, but like had they stuck the landing perfectly, maybe I would have made an argument to put it on here, but I can't. The same way I can't the third party game mode. Great for the general League community, just not my cup of tea. But I did want to acknowledge that obviously it's a good thing for everybody. But let's kick it off formally. Caedrel, I'm not going to say that this year, at least for the first like 10 months, was his best year. I think like the breakout of Caedrel in 2023 will like for forever kind of hold its spot as like the year that Caedrel became who he was. And this year was more validation that yes, he just is genuinely an entertaining personality, one of the best assets that we have as a content creator, and now one of the best org owners that we have in the space. Los Ratones and the Red Bull event are my number 5. This all happened so quick. Red Bull League of its own was going to be a thing no matter what. G2 was going to be there, T1, K Corp, like all the big names there. But Caedrel announcing his own org after Worlds was a kind of a curveball for everybody. We didn't really see it coming, but it made sense. He's big enough now to do his own thing in the same way that Kometo and Abai were. But the question was, how big could he make this thing? He's got the online following for it, but can he get people to show up in person? Well, it helps when your first debut event has everybody else there with you, but also you sell out your merch drop almost instantly. Everybody's looking forward to seeing your matches in particular, and they are the talk of the town other than obviously T1 and G2. But man, there's just something about Los Ratones that feels right. I know I've talked about it a lot on this channel and on TikTok and beyond for the last few weeks. It feels like it's dominated the headlines of what would have otherwise been a very slow time of the year. But the offseason flew by in 2024 because of people like Caedrel and Los Ratones giving us something to talk about that wasn't just drama the entire time. Now, where could he go with this? I don't know. We'll worry about like the future projections of Los Ratones after an amazing start like this later on. But for now, I just want to commemorate what was an amazing debut for him, his org, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. Although the co-streaming rights for him and the LEC are going to be a little bit sus, because if you remember, the LEC co-streaming rights were tied to Fnatic, which is why he signed with Fnatic in 2024. Now that he's with Los Ratones, he's obviously not going to be able to sign with a big org. So what will the LEC do to make sure that he can co-stream the LEC? Will they bend their rule, or will they find some other way around it? I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I just freaking love Caedrel. Everybody loves Caedrel at this point. I don't think I've met a single Caedrel hater. But with the tides of the internet, there will eventually be some people that hate him for some obnoxious reason, which a minority of T1 fans almost had their moment with him, but it seemed like that blew over. So everything seems to be good in the Caedrel land. Number 4, I couldn't put this one any higher because it's too personal for me, and I don't think the general League community is going to respect like this moment for what it was, given how it ended. But 100 Thieves whooping the ass of C9 and preventing them from going to Worlds for only the second time ever in one of the biggest North American upsets that we've ever seen in a best of 5 was, oh dude, it was everything for me. There are going to be people that are like, oh, but they lost R7 and didn't get out of Swiss stage. I don't give a shit. 100 Thieves pulling off this immaculate run whenever C9's roster had just like so much money and talent on it. 100 Thieves is just these, 3 young guys, Ayla and River. And it's like, really, they shouldn't be able to pull this off, especially whenever they had to make a roster change halfway through to Tomo because Meech was having his own struggles. It's like, this shouldn't have happened. And as a 100 Thieves fan, to get the validation and like have that like 2-week long stretch where I just got to constantly lay into C9 fans of like, hey, wouldn't it be a little bit bad if you end up losing to us in a few weeks? Wouldn't it be really bad if you lose to us this Sunday? Man, that would be terrible, wouldn't it? Oh, wait, you lost to us. There's no way. Oh, it was great. I don't care if we got bitch slapped by FlyQuest. I don't care if my org is not going to exist within a year. At this point, this was just like the icing on the cake. This will be the moment in the case that 100 Thieves does go belly up and, the org sells off the League pillar. This will be the moment that I leave with. This will be the moment that will be like my golden, I don't know, plateau, Dinkelberg. Like, this is where I'd hold my trophy moment. This was that for me. It meant everything and the world and more. And I never got a World's icon to commemorate it, but alas, what can you do? So for one final time in 2024, well, 2025 as this video being released, suck it, C9. See you next year. Number 3. Oh, man. So Faker had an interesting year, to say the least. Like, there was some really high highs just in terms of public perception with him getting inducted to the Hall of Legends, but there was a whole bunch of controversy around whether he should be the first one in or not, whether players should be retired or not. He had his injury that he was dealing with throughout the year. We had no clue whether he was going to be healthy by the time Worlds came around. There were DDoS issues with T1. It just felt like prior to Worlds itself, everything was going against T1. Sure, they won Esports World Cup, but come on. Like, I know there's people in hindsight that are trying to use that as like validation for things. They won 3 best of 5s in Esports World Cup. Like, you can't weight it the same as everything else was. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean as much as an LCK title or even MSI. It's like a fraction of that at best. So for T1 to bounce back at Worlds, but more specifically for Faker to have the bounce back that he did, yeah, that deserves a top 3 spot. Specifically Game 4, Game 5 of finals, where it did look like T1 was on the back foot, where it looked like they were going to lose and China was finally going to reclaim their title for the first time since 2021. You just had this feeling that somebody on T1 had to step up and change the tide of the game and just force the gas pedal to constantly be on the ground. And that's what Faker did. He found a way. He did hard carry them. Now, yes, there's obviously an entire team around him that followed up and was good in that moment as well. But to sit here and be able to say in 2024 that we are still seeing peak Faker carry teams to titles in individual moments and be an integral part, whereas even in their loss in 2022, he didn't look great in finals. Like, we are blessed to be in this timeline. We are blessed to be seeing the best to ever do it, play in their prime, play even in their post-prime at this point. This feels more like Tiger Woods 2019 Augusta for those that watch golf in any capacity. This is that, and I will cherish the fact that we get to enjoy it while we have it. There was a clear world where T1 missed Worlds, and Heavy as the Crown took on a whole other meaning, and everything about this was just a little bit touch and go, but we don't live in that world. T1 clutched out at Worlds. Because of that, the shock and all has to give him to that spot. Number 2 is a little bit sad, but it's a happy sad. And that is the end of the LCS. It's not saying that the league is going away. It's just changing its name to the LTA North, which I still am not a big fan of. But the way in which the league went out couldn't possibly have been scripted better. I don't even think the script writers knew that something like this would be possible or that you could even make this happen. LCS finals, in summer, TL looks like they're about to take us to a game 5. I personally was watching this at a bar with about 100 other people here in New York City. Everybody was going nuts. We were just like, there's no way. Like, this is awesome. This is exactly what you want. You want a game 5. You want the crowd to just be hyped up. Everybody was torn like 50-50 between TL FlyQuest. And we thought we were getting it for sure. And then all of a sudden, this creeping realization that, oh, wait, those minions are taking down TL's base a little quicker than we thought they were. Wait a minute, this might not be possible. Can Whippo TP in and end this? Wait a minute, he's not going to need Whippo's TP. Oh my god, oh my god, it actually happened. A minion ends the LCS in one of the wildest finishes you will ever see in LoL esports, period. Sure, there have been base races that are arguably more cinematic and climactic. KT Invictus Gaming will be the one that stands out in people's minds. But in terms of the drama, in terms of just like the what the fuck just happened, I don't know if anything's ever going to top this. It's not like you can sit here and say then that like FlyQuest, like Fluke won it. They went on to take Gen G to 5 games at Worlds. Like, it's not like this is a moment where you look back and yes, we're going to meme on TL for losing to a minion. Absolutely. But like, it doesn't discredit FlyQuest's win either. It's just an incredible moment in LoL esports history that we're blessed as North America to say that that is ours. Also cursed at the same time to say that that's ours. But yeah. What a fitting send-off. What more could he ask for? And for number 1, at least in America, I don't know about internationally, the thing that we love more than anything else in the world is a good comeback story. As much as we like it when people fail, because for whatever reason we cheer on people's failures here in America, we enjoy even more when those people that did fail are able to redeem themselves and remind people that they're still here. The cinematic for 2024 was one that I think we were all a little bit worried about, given that 2023 didn't happen. There were elevated expectations for it because, okay, now you've had almost 2 years to make sure that we get something amazing for a cinematic. On top of that, there were rumors that like the assets that they were using for Worlds 2023 were just things that would eventually be used in the cinematic for 2024. It was like, okay, well, and I don't know how this is going to go. And Still Here just delivered on all fronts. The song itself, absolutely incredible. The horn section, whenever Kayla Morgana, or Morgana specifically, like first uses her magic, chills every single time that I hear it. Old Man Yasuo, people thinking that it's Jax, the confusion is amazing. Like, lore heads ate this up. General League community ate this up. Music people ate this up. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. The introduction of Kindred for the first time, at least to my knowledge, into like the cinematic universe side of things. Tryndamere fighting Kindred is just, oh my god. It was amazing. And it is my favorite cinematic of all time, now topping Awaken, which up until this point held that title. But the thing that always set Awaken over the top for me was actually the live performance of it at Worlds 2019. I think having a live performance in the same way of having a good music video for a song that's already massively popular can send it over the top and send it into the stratosphere. That's exactly what happened this year as well. Still Here at the World's opening ceremony, in my opinion, despite obviously the hype that comes with like the Elder Dragon of 2017 and 2018's introduction of KDA and 2019 having True Damage, I think that this performance of Still Here will go down as the single best song live performance ever in League of Legends history. I mean, obviously they can top themselves in terms of future output and what they do there, but at the current moment, nothing is going to top this. I understand there are some people that have issues with it being a playback performance because yes, there were debates on whether like there were live vocals or not. Yes, they were singing live in that moment. There was just a backtrack as well. You can hear the differences in some of the spots where like they're just either a little bit off or cut short or go a little bit long. Like there are live vocals, period. But man, did they kill that. The introduction of T1 and BLG as players in that moment, it just felt right. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it felt perfect for Worlds, for League of Legends, for everything. It was the perfect 3-minute encapsulation of everything that we love about this game, about this esport, and beyond. And it is the new golden standard for cinematics and how we incorporate them into our live performances. And that is why it earns my top spot, the best moment of League of Legends from 2024. Now, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with my list? Are there things that I left out? Obviously, because I'm a little bit biased towards certain areas. What would you have put on here that I didn't? And let me know, what are you looking forward to most for 2025? A week from now, I believe. Let me double check this. Yeah, actually, Monday of next week, I'm going to go over my goals for 2025. This Friday, we have to get back to the Road to the Americas series, where I'm going to be talking about the superstars and the biggest names of the LTA North, the people that can carry this franchise in the same way that Doublelift and Bjergsen did and what they need to do to get there. But on Monday, we'll touch on what I want to see from 2025 in League of Legends, but also from myself, because it looks like I'm going to fall just short of that 5K subscriber goal here on YouTube. But I'm close enough to the point where it's like, yeah, I feel confident in saying that this is a really good year. So for everybody that supported me over the course of 2024, thank you. It was an incredible year. I'm looking forward to what happens in 2025, and thank you for supporting me there as well. I'll keep you updated with how things go in terms of TikTok, the channel, everything else. Everything feels like it's up in the air for this upcoming year. So I'm just holding on for dear life, pumping out more videos. So I'll see you on the next one. Adios.